Well, the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup last night. That's cool. First hockey game I ever went to was in Florida, in Pensacola, Florida, in 1996, I think, or 1997. Whenever you guys can look up inaugural Pensacola Ice Pilots hockey season, and that was the first hockey game I ever went to with my dad. I was a wee laddie, and it was an awesome game, dude. It was the Pensacola Ice Pilots versus the Jacksonville Lizard Kings. So Florida hockey, shout out to Florida hockey, and his minor league hockey, ECHL at the time, East Coast Hockey League. And by the end of the game, dude, there was probably five players left per team on the benches because there were so many fights that all the players kept getting ejected. The coaching staffs got ejected from the game, and my dad and I were instant hockey fans, man. This is before the Carolina Hurricanes were a thing. In '97, my parents got divorced, and my mom and I moved up here to the Raleigh, North Carolina area the same year as the Carolina Hurricanes, and I've been a Canes fan ever since. But yeah, dude, I respect the Florida Panthers too. So pretty cool. Um, it's nice to see a Florida team besides the Tampa Bay Lightning win the Stanley Cup. So yeah, do you guys want to talk about something else like 10 guitarists, that list of the 20 most influential guitarists of the last 20 years? You want to talk about maybe like 10 that they missed? Let's do it.
It's the Tim True Tone Talk Show. It's the Tim True Tone Talk Show. It's the Tim True Tone Talk Show. So let's talk about rock. Let's talk, yeah,
Wow, how did that happen, dude? The hat just popped on out of nowhere, dude. Hey, check it out, yeah. You can take the boy out of the Florida, but you can't take the Florida out of the boy, man. Anyway, let's talk some guitar players, y'all. So, elephant in the room, one glaring omission on that list, man. There's no Jack White, dude. You're really telling me guitar players in the last 20 years and Jack White isn't one of the 20 most influential? I mean, come on. That's my best Jimmy from South Park. So, whoever wrote that list, obviously them and we need to have a lock in at the rec center, and we need to talk this out. Um, Obviously, in my opinion, we'll look at the actual list later. Um, but in my opinion, it seems like the person who wrote the list, it says they asked 1,000 guitar players, and it seems to me like they just stood out in front of a guitar center in like London, England or something, and asked people there who they thought the 20 most influential guitar players were. I mean, like, here we go. I'm loading up the list right now. So we'll take a look at it. I don't know if I can import a screenshot in here or not later, but like, I'm sorry, dude. I love the Foo Fighters. I actually have a Foo Fighters poster that you guys can't see right here on the other side of this camera. It's the one with all the UFOs and stuff, and the couple holding hands walking on Mars. But dude, Chris Shiflett shouldn't even be on this list. I'm sorry, dude. Like I said, I love the Foos, but I mean, has Chris Shiflett really broken any new ground in guitar playing? I don't think so. I mean, just personally, his podcast is great. He's a cool dude, but I mean, there's there's 10 guitar players that I have listed here that are better qualified in my opinion. So, let's just start with one who's better than Chris Shiflett, okay? Omar Rodriguez Lopez of At the Drive-In and Mars Volta fame. Guy's a great guitar player. He doesn't know his theory, but he's very technical with what he plays. His use of effects pedals really kind of changed the game in the turn of the millennium, dude. He was using like the Robo Talk box and stuff like that. Like not the talk box, but like the Robo Talk box, like Death by Audio, like bit crusher sounding kind of stuff. You know, if you're a guitar player and you're not familiar with Death by Audio pedals, are you really a guitar player? Um, I bet you that chick, her, that's on this list, she probably doesn't know anything about Death by Audio pedals, but she's got a signature Fender Strat though. A lot of the players on this list, dude, it's all signature Fender players, dude. We got well, John Frusciante has never had an official Fender release, but we got John Mayer has an official Fender guitar out. You got Chris Shiflett has an official Fender guitar out. You got Ed O'Brien has an official Fender guitar out. You got Tom DeLonge, official Fender guitar out. Jim Root, official Fender guitar out. John Five, official Fender guitar out. Brad Paisley, doesn't he have one too? Troy Van Leeuwen, it's not a Strat, but he's got a signature Fender out. Albert Hammond Jr.'s got a signature Fender out. Her's got a signature Fender out, which once again, I don't know why. I mean, no offense, and y'all can call me all kinds of things because I got my opinions, but I mean, facts are just facts, dog. So, I mean, I'm just gonna keep ranting here. Um, so I already talked about Jack White. I already talked about Omar Rodriguez Lopez. So, let's see. We got Troy Van Leeuwen on the list, right? So he was in A Perfect Circle when A Perfect Circle first started. He was the second guitar player. But the guy who wrote all the songs, dude, let's talk about this guy. Billy Howardell, dude. One of the first people to really make the Axe effects popular as far as digital modeling goes. He actually made it sound really, really good in a time when not a lot of people were doing it. The technology hadn't really caught up to the game yet. Speaking personally as a guitarist who I started playing guitar probably in 2002. You know, you could say I really like started trying to play guitar. And the last 22 years of music technology advancement has just been crazy. But really, I think it finally, like digital finally caught up to be great around the time Line 6 put out the Helix and stuff. And I mean, now it's great, dude. I mean, you can't get much better than what they got digitally these days. And even a lot of the software plugins and stuff, they're great. I mean, you really don't even need an amp anymore unless, you just want one. So if we want to talk about other influential guitar players that have been around for a while. I mean, this guy's been around since the 90s, but he's got, gosh, like 10,000 signature Epiphone Les Paul Silverbursts out now, just like they have an album called 10,000 Days. Adam Jones from Tool, man. The guy definitely brings the heavy and kind of makes the flanger pedal cool still. A lot of guitar players don't really use the flanger pedal anymore, but Adam Jones definitely has that kind of on in the background a lot of times in his stuff. Tool is one of my favorite bands. I've seen them live twice. The first time I saw them live was Bonnaroo in 2007, and you can go listen to that performance on YouTube. It wasn't their best, and I always felt like I never really got to see Tool live until I saw them in what was it, 2019? It was 2018 or 2019 when they did the tour. I had actually bought a ticket to go see them at the Epicenter Festival in Rockingham, North Carolina. They were doing it at the racetrack, and I think the night the Tool was supposed to play, they had the severe storms and stuff, and they ended up not even playing. And I didn't even end up going to the festival, which, for better or for worse, I had bought ticket insurance, so I thought I could just get my money back because there was bad weather for the weekend, and there was like traffic woes too, and all these problems. So I was just like, well, I got the ticket insurance, so I'm just not gonna go, and I'll get my money back. But of course, they didn't give me my money back, so kind of sucked. That basically took $500 or whatever, and just torched that shit. So you live and you learn. Don't get the ticket insurance, and really just don't even waste your time going to the big music festivals. Just see bands on their own tours. because you get longer sets, you get more personal sets, and you don't have to deal with all the general riffraff that comes with a big giant music festival. I mean, they're fun if you want to go and just walk around and get fucked up, but if you're like actually looking for the music, just go see the bands on their own independent tours. Which is why I waited to see Soundgarden, and then Chris Cornell ended up dying. They played Carolina Rebellion like a couple weeks before he died, and A Perfect Circle was on that. And I remember I was like, no, I'm not gonna go because I bet you Soundgarden's gonna do another tour on their own soon, and I'll get to see them then. And it never happened. So that kind of sucks. Chris Cornell, R.I.P. dude, R.I.P. All right, so do we want to talk about who on this list shouldn't be on this list or who should be on this list? Um, like I said, I think whoever made this list is obviously British because they put both Radiohead guitar players on here. I say both. They didn't put Tom York, but with the way this list is going, they may as well put Tom York on there too, huh? Um, okay, so speaking of people who play piano and guitar on this list, how about this? The other elephant in the room on here, Taylor. Okay, I mean, where do you want to start with Taylor, dude? She started as cute little teenage blonde girl playing her songs on her acoustic guitar, and I mean, people might say she's never really gotten any better as a guitar player, but I haven't gotten any better as a guitar player over the last 10 years either. So I think this list, it mentioned it was most influential guitar players and not the best. And I mean, she's definitely influential, dude. They got the new Epiphones out. They're it's not the SJ200, is it? It's what is it? It's the Epiphone. Mm, how do I even type Epiphone? Did Epiphone 200 guitar? So it's not the 200. What if I do Epiphone Taylor Swift guitar? Will that pop up? Here we go. Epiphone Taylor Swift guitar. There it is. Yep. Okay, so J180. The J180. For some reason, I thought it was the SJ200, but I can't really afford Gibson guitars anyway. Maybe an electric. I have an SG, but as far as Gibson acoustic guitars, dude, that's way out of my price range. So, but it's cool. Taylor's J180, dude. The black one's cool. It's got that Everly Brothers vibe, and the star inlays are cool. But just looking at the wood, like for the fretboard for this guitar, it's like, I mean, it's all right. My thing with a lot of Gibson and Epiphone stuff, dude, if they're not using ebony wood, a lot of it just looks dried out and like too light of a color, in my opinion, for a guitar neck. Um, but hey, what do I know? Not a whole lot, really. But I do know that another individual that should have been on this guitar player list that didn't make it is a guy named Dave Knudsen, dude. He's in a band called Minus the Bear. And I was lucky enough to still be in high school at a time when Minus the Bear was still doing their thing. There was this chick in my tech theater class. I think her name was Ashley. And she burned me a couple CDs of bands that she liked, and Minus the Bear was one of them. It was the Manos El Oso album, I think, which is Minus the Bear en Espanol. Am I Spanish or am I a French musketeer with the ha? I don't know. You tell me. But yeah, dude, Dave Knudsen, he changed the game with his use of a guitar pedal that obviously, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably play guitar. The DL4, the Line 6 DL4, he would use four of them at the same time to get these, the glitchy, stuttery effects that he got, and some of like the kind of pitch shifty, jangly tone, and a lot of those Minus the Bear songs, which, I mean, it's iconic, dude. That band is iconic. They never got super big, but I mean, They were big enough to do a farewell tour, and I was lucky enough to see them on the farewell tour. I have a T-shirt that doesn't fit there. It fits, but it's a little small. I'm one of those weird people T-shirt wise. I'm tall, but I'm skinny. So like sometimes like I need to get an extra large like for the length, right? But then it's like it fits like super big. Like I mean even this one's like a little boxy. But it's a black T-shirt, so you can't really tell. But like I'm only like here, and it's like way out to here. You know what I mean? So with the minus the bear shirt, I got a large just because I wanted it to be a little more form fitting, but it shrunk a little bit. So now it's like I look like I'm in an emo band every time I wear it. Which I mean, hey, they're sort of emo, so whatever. How many more guitar players do we have on this list? I did, man. Are you guys really still here? If you're still here and you're listening to me rant for this long, thank you. You should listen to my demo album too. It's probably shorter than this. It's called Diarrhea of a Madman. And yes, I know the vocals aren't that great. I doubled the vocals on all the songs, and I didn't really mix it well. So you just got like this like crazy like out of tune double tracking on a lot of the songs. But hey, man, it's an effect, dude. It's art, bro. It's art, okay. So speaking of art, um, okay, here's one. You want to talk about artistry on guitar, dude? What do you think about the band Muse? So I'm not super into Muse personally. Like I can listen to like two Muse songs, and like I've I've listened to my Muse quota for the year. But their live show is kind of cool from what I've seen, like clips of and all that stuff. And yeah, Matthew Bellamy, he really changed the game with he installed. I'm a fan of guitar players who try to break new ground with technology and corporation and stuff like that. And obviously Matthew Bellamy with the Chaos pad that he had in his guitar. Um, Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I don't know if you saw on Fluff's Riffs, Beards and Gear the other week. Somebody was trying to sell a modded Epiphone Les Paul that they had put a Chaos pad in, and I was like, "Yeah, you're definitely a Muse fan, bro." So, do we want to talk about people that are on the list that shouldn't be now? How about the 1975 guy, Adam Hahn? I mean, once again, dude, like I said, the person who made this list obviously is British. Um, and they obviously only listen to the radio. Poor thing, poor thing. But yeah, dude, I mean, Adam Hahn probably shouldn't have been on here. Even Keith Urban and Brad Paisley, man. I mean, they're great guitar players, but like, it's just more dad rock stuff, dude. But I mean, hey, what do I know? I'm a fan of bands like The Used. I grew up on that, and uh, guitar players like Quinn Allman are more important to me than people who just play generic shit like Brad Paisley and Keith Urban. I mean, they can play their scales, they can play their solos, but can they like? So Quinn Allman obviously is on my list of guitar players that deserve respect. Those first two Used albums, from a guitarist perspective, even on some of the songs don't hit on those albums, dude. I'll admit that. They're like 60% albums in my opinion, as far as like perfection goes. But from a guitar perspective, they're like 90% albums. Um, I just feel like Quinn Allman, he kind of took that in utero guitar sound and he did like his complete own interpretation of it. And it was, the I guess second wave of the emo and post-hardcore thing that was going on at the time. So a lot of bands were experimenting with that sound, but I feel like Quinn took it to a whole new level, and like bands like Story of the Year and all those like other bands that may have gotten bit like more acclaim or more radio airplay than the used did after a while. They were all just still trying to rip off what Quinn Allman was doing. And then I don't know what happened with that band, but Quinn's obviously not in the band anymore, and it seems like Bert is the only original member of the Used. And I don't really care. I'm never gonna go see them live, but I will still listen to. I'll listen to In Love and Death more than I'll listen to the first album. In Love and Death, from a guitar player's perspective, one of my favorite albums of all time. All right, so got to have a chick on the list, right? Or otherwise, people are gonna call me a type of ist. So shout out to Samantha Fish, girl. You make the list, baby. The little greaser chick playing guitar. She's got her own thing going on. She's not a little metal spandex girl like Nita Strauss. No disrespect to all those LA guitar player metalhead wannabe girls that are out there now. I'm not calling Nita Strauss a wannabe. Nita's the real deal. Also, shout out to Emily Ruvidich, who is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and now plays guitar for the Rammstein guy, Toll Lindemann or whatever. Yeah, dude. One of his guitar players is a Raleigh girl, and she's hot. And she invited me to her birthday party one time, and I didn't go because I was like, why is this chick inviting me to her birthday party? But I probably should have gone, dude. Probably should have gone. But hey, if you like me, I just automatically assume there's something wrong with you because everybody hates me. I'm like the ugly duckling, baby. Swan on. Is that what swans do? No, swans do not do that. You want some sweet tea from my PRS mug? Or I guess it's not a mug, it's glass, but it's just sweet tea. But all right. So who else is on this list here? We're getting down to it. Samantha Fish has been listed. Let's talk about Sinister Gates, Avenged Sevenfold, dude. The metalcore bands, um, Avenged Sevenfold's, up at the top of the tier. He's got all those what do you call them? The Schecter guitars. So you know, just a in my opinion, a guitar player who plays a Schecter who is more talented than somebody named Colson. Yeah, dude. If your real name's Colson, no wonder you're going by some other fake name, right? Hey, I'd go by my full real name if I didn't have a wicked stepmother that I don't want to share my last name with. Otherwise, you guys would just get full real me all the time. But I had to separate myself from my crappy past. So now you got the true tone. You'd rather have that than a lie, though, anyway, right? Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. All right, so we got who'd we list? We got Sinister Gates, we got Dave Knudsen, we got Quinn Allman, we got Matthew Bellamy, we got Samantha Fish, we got Jack White, we got Adam Jones, we got Billy Howardell. Also, last thing about Billy Howardell, he brought C sharp standard tuning back, babies, from the Black Sabbath days back to the early 2000s, dude. A perfect circle, baby. I like them better than Tool some days, dude. I know a lot of people do. Those first two A Perfect Circle albums are great, and even the one, what was it called? Eat the Elephant. Eat the Elephant was pretty good too. So shout out to A Perfect Circle, yo. Even though Eat the Elephant's really not that guitar based, it's more like piano and like synthy bass and like drum loop oriented, in my opinion. But hey, whatever. Last one we're gonna do here. You guys, most of you probably don't even know this motherfucker, and that's fine. It's not really my problem. But I'm a big fan of a band called Thrice. They've been around for a really long time. They've gone through a lot of eras as far as genre goes. And if you're a Thrice fan, you really love Thrice. And their lead guitarist Tepe Teranishi, dude, he is the man. He plays piano as well in some of the stuff. And yeah, dude, big Thrice fan here. When they were on their first farewell tour, their first or second farewell tour, I went and saw them, and it was a sold out show, and I got in, and I don't know how I did this, dude. I got around the barricades and I sat on the stage and watched them play. I don't know if they thought I was like security or whatever, because they were looking at me the whole time too. I was like sitting on like a monitor wedge that wasn't working. It was turned off. Otherwise, I would have felt it, shaking my ass or whatever. But I'm sitting on this monitor wedge watching Thrice the whole time, dude, the whole like 90-minute set or whatever. And these guys, they're just like staring at me like, what is this guy doing on stage? But nobody told me to move or nothing, dude. So that's one of my favorite show going moments of all time, was on Thrice's first farewell tour back in, I don't know, was it 2009, 2012, something like that. Yeah, dude, I just like sat on the stage and watched them the whole time. Uh, yeah, I don't go to shows like that anymore. I probably should, but I'm getting old and money doesn't stretch as far as it used to anymore either, to be honest. So, you want me to go back to shows? Fix the economy for us broke folk, dude. I can't even afford new guitar strings. So, if you guys want, help me afford new guitar strings by maybe liking and subscribing to my channel. I've got a spread shop, tim-truetone.myspreadshop.com. You can go get yourself some really cool t-shirt designs that I made myself. Um, Hats, sweatshirts, coffee mugs. I think, you can do stickers. If you want to, cook your dinner in a Tim Trutone apron, you can do that too. But, I wouldn't recommend that, but they're there. Um, if you do buy the apron, make sure to only wear the apron. Okay, it's designed for aerodynamics and optimal flow. And on that note, we'll catch you on the flippity flop. Peace.
It's the Tim Trutone Talk Show. It's the Tim Trutone Talk Show. It's the Tim Trutone Talk Show. So let's talk about